Dr. Gordon Brown, you came to the UAE to work with education in real estate. Could you tell me about that?
I arrived here in May. It was the first week of May, and it was then that I found out I would be specifically the Aldar Dean of Business. The actual my responsibilities include real estate, but they really do encompass the higher diploma and bachelor's level courses in both business and information technology at the Abu Dhabi Women's College. One of the big things there, of course, is real estate, and a real estate program was started about 2 years ago in the higher colleges. The interesting thing is, of course, as this happens everywhere, real estate with the problems in Dubai, the fruit of Dubai's work has fallen in Abu Dhabi, and that has caused some rethinking about the role of real estate. It's also, as a result, forced us to rethink real estate education. And so we're in the process and beginning to come to a conclusion on what kind of real estate education is really appropriate for the kind of students we have in this region.
Well, you're the first Aldar Dean of Business. This is a title that didn't exist before. What is the right kind of real estate education?
Well, there's real estate education today is undergoing some changes. I've been involved in real estate both in the United States and in Europe. Before I was here in Abu Dhabi, I was the head of a real estate program at the Eindhoven University of Technology in the Netherlands, which is one of the large programs. I think it has between 75 and 90 MSc students in its 2-year program. It's a fairly heavy-duty research-oriented program, and it is within the Faculty of Architecture, Building, and Planning. In the United States, most real estate programs, although this is changing somewhat, are in schools of business. And in the United States, the focus tends to be more on financial economics, whereas in Europe, particularly in continental Europe, tends to be more interdisciplinary. In the UK and in those places that are influenced by UK education models, it's what would be called a built environment and property approach, which is fairly comprehensive. So there is a difference in real estate education depending on where you get it. The one thing I might say right now is that in the United States, we are seeing more graduate real estate programs being started in architecture and planning schools, which have a bit more of a development focus rather than financial, and are more interdisciplinary.
Well, given that this is now an emerging market, of course, and a very fast developing one in many ways, what makes the most sense here?
One of the things that's happening here over the next few years, we will see probably a transition from an emphasis on development to more of an emphasis on management, really thinking more in terms of asset management, property management, facilities management. There will be, of course, over the coming years, there will still be a lot of development, but the development, for example, in Abu Dhabi is more likely to be infill and replacement kind of development rather than the big kinds of iconic and Plan 2030 kinds of projects that are being undertaken today. Those will begin to become completed, and therefore those will have to be managed.
At the higher colleges of technology where you are, the students are all female, and they're all Emiratis. What has been the reaction to the real estate program that you've seen there?
The reactions is twofold. There was at first a great deal of interest in it, but what has happened over the past year has I think what I would say is that in a sense real estate has become somewhat stigmatized because of the problems, and it is causing people to shy away from it. Even the word real estate itself has potentially negative connotations among some people who do see it, I think have seen it anyway, in the past as a sort of a long-term investment that will continue to provide income and cash flow. Real estate, in fact, is, I think, something that I would compare it in a way to, let's say, Major League Baseball, or let's say baseball in America overall. A lot of folks play baseball. You go to the little leagues, see your kids play from age 8, 9, 10. You see it in high school, you see it in college, but they're minor league teams and they're major league teams. Major league stuff is really different. Minor league players come up to the majors, but they drop out. Not everybody can make it. And there's a certain kind of tolerance for ambiguity, risk. Not only do you have to be technically good in real estate, but you have to have a certain kind of attitude and understand these things in the long term, what they do. That's one of the things that I think probably in a developing country like this is not really well understood. Real estate, in my view, is a juicy field. It's got a lot to it. It's got a lot of parts that you can get into, and it accepts various levels of talent. But also, it's not always a get-rich-quick scheme, although it's touted as that often. But ultimately, real estate is the energy and the capability to build places.